Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me, Luana Hodges, YBC Youth Building Conversation. I'm trying something different, you guys. I'm trying to um, have my stream on YouTube, not YouTube, it's already on YouTube, on Instagram. So just let me know if you guys are in the Instagram world and you see me. Let me know. So at least I know that it's working. But good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Tonight I am so excited that I have Lark. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Like Mark is Lark, like Mark.
Lark. Okay, okay. I have Lark from South Philly in the house, in the building. She let me know she's an Eagles fan. Yay. I like the Eagles because my girl Georgette, I like the Eagles. Um, but yeah, this has been a long time coming interview, but she been busy and we're gonna talk about everything she has been going on through the pandemic, before the pandemic, after the but we still kind of in the pandemic. But in the midst of
Yeah.
everything, we
hmm
have really accomplished a lot. But before we get started, can you open us up in prayer, please?
Oh, me.
Yes, you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Heavenly Father. Please bless us tonight and allow us to have a great interview. Please allow everyone to hear my word and use my words and my story to further their own story. Because as Luana says, everyone has a story. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Oh yeah, I thought you'd have known. It was yeah, it was you. So I always ask the question. I always give a little story about how I know the person. So I don't really know Lark. Is that me? Is that
I'm
me?
not sure.
Let me make sure. Okay, make sure I'm good because I
Yeah.
think I have two different
Mhm.
things open on here. Okay, I'm good. So I I'm just meeting her tonight.
Nice.
But I knew about her through her mom, Deirdre. Hey, mom. Hope you watching. And my girlfriend Georgette, I believe, grew up with your mom. So that's where the connection came from. The preacher Georgette, she always be hooking me up with, people she come in contact, grew up with. Hey, Luana, you need to talk to them. And I thank her for that. Thank you, Georgette, if you're watching. Um, but yes, this is my first time really meeting you, and it's an honor and a pleasure of meeting you and have you on my platform because I think you have a lot of great information, especially for my youth and young adults
Well,
that are
thank you
still in
so much.
college and still pushing.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
thank you for, continuing to ask me to come on and tell my stories. I'm excited.
great, great, great. So the first question is, who is Lark?
Well, so Lark right now is an attorney, which I'm excited about. Took a long time, but we got here. Um, so currently, I work in civil defense. A lot of the work that I do is medical malpractice, litigation work, along with some personal injury work. So I guess I would call myself also a civil defense attorney. Um, Lark is also from South Philly, grew up. I wasn't born, but I was raised. I was born in California, but raised in South Philly.
Okay.
Lark is also an Eagles fan, forever. So I'm kind of upset that the Chiefs won, but I also graduated from St. John's University with my undergraduate degree and master's degree. And then I went on 2 years later to get my legal degree, my Juris Doctor, they call it, from Drexel University. And currently, I work out in Bluebell for a smaller firm, but and really enjoying it. And you know, I'm happy to be here.
Hey. So is that in Philly or on the outskirts of Philly?
So it's on the outskirts of Philly.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
little bit further than like King of Prussia.
Okay. Okay. I know
So
what King Prussia
yeah,
is. Yeah. Okay. Good
yeah,
area. You get to shop.
yeah.
You get
Well,
to stop and eat some good food. Um, on your breaks.
So
So
it's a little bit. So it's right next to the Plymouth Meeting Mall. So that's also nice and
okay.
also dangerous. So
Oh,
because it's next to the mall, not because of the area, because it's next to
oh,
the mall. So it's
oh, okay. I was going
dangerous.
to say, wait a minute. When I was out there, oh, that's why you had me thinking like, well, am I thinking about the same area you
No,
talking
no, no,
about?
no. It's dangerous
Because it
because
was
the
nice.
mall,
Oh, okay.
the mall is there.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
So give me three adjectives that describe you.
Yes. So my first adjective would be um, kind, which is really important in this job. People don't think of lawyers. That's not the first thing they think of. They don't think of lawyers as being kind at all. But that is 50% of the job is being kind to your clients, to other attorneys, to other people in general who want to hear your story because people are impressed and always want to hear more about what you do in the legal world because it's something that people know about, but not something that can quite understand beyond like watching How to Get Away with Murder or something like that. So kind. I would also say I'm patient, which is also very, very important in this job. My mom might not say the same thing. She might not say I'm patient. So don't ask her. Um, but she would also, I'm sorry, that I don't, and she would, and I would also say that I am flexible. And I know that's an odd adjective, but it's so important to be able to pivot and not let um, maybe tricky scenarios or stressful times really bog you down and just sort of be flexible in your life and your work. And, you know, I think it makes me a good lawyer.
Okay. So how have the past 4 years since the pandemic, how have you, I mean, I know you was in school, probably working. How did the past 4 years go with in the play with all that going on?
Yes. So I don't think I really realized how much we went through during the pandemic until recently. And I say that because a lot of the way of life that we had before is non-existent, and I can really see that in my job now. um, the way and it, both in the positive and a little bit negative, but during the pandemic, I'm a very social person, so that was the hardest part of the pandemic. That was also the hardest part of going to law school. You had to really find creative ways to make friends and to network and to gain mentors. But that was also a positive too. And not to say that the pandemic in itself was a positive, but being able to be creative in the way that you meet people has been really a benefit for me in particular. Also, I sought out a lot more mentorship, which I didn't understand the importance of until I did it. It is so important to seek out mentors, mentors that look like you, mentors that might not look like you. Um, so the pandemic has been tough, but I've been trying to find just the more positive benefits to having to really be flexible. And the pandemic did teach me about flexibility. Um, I I decided to go to law school probably in January before anybody really knew what was going to go on. And then the world shut down in March. And the first time I had to be really flexible was taking the LSAT, which is the test that you need to take to get into law school. And it was we were supposed to have another so I took it in April and I was supposed to have another chance to take it in May, but they said no, April was going to be the last test. So that was my first sort of scenario where I had to be flexible. And I had to just take the test and hope I got into law school with that one test. So that's just one example of um, the pandemic being tough, but you know, making us just more resilient people.
Yeah. So how does it feel accomplishing receiving 2 degrees, a certification in public administration, then going to law school and passing the bar exam on the first try?
It feels like surreal. Like, you know, um, it really feels good. And whenever I'm having a tough time at work or in life, I always say, well, I did the hard things already. I
Yeah.
can do this. um, and it really allowed me to see my community, my family, my friends, and how blessed I am to have that. I would not be sitting here without my mom, of course, without my family, without my friends who paid for my dinner when I got out because they knew I was in law school and they couldn't afford it. My mom, who, you know, I wasn't working for 3 years, who helped me out during that time and encouraged me. It really feels good to know that I have those people in my life, and I thank God all the time for them. And so I love the degrees that I have, but it also puts everything in perspective to me because I wouldn't have that without, you know, my community around me.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Big ups to mom. I like that. I like
Yes.
that. So why did you choose to study public administration before attending law school?
So I was a government and politics major in undergrad, and I had a really great professor who encouraged me to do the 5 year program. So St. John's has a 5 year program where you, um, in your second year of undergraduate school, you start taking graduate classes. And once you graduate from undergrad, you then have one more year of grad school. And so he really encouraged me to do that program. He said I would be a great candidate. I was really interested in healthcare and healthcare administration. So he encouraged me to study more about public administration and the administrative state in general because it's so important, the IRS. And I know everybody thinking about the IRS right now.
They know my name.
Right? They know everybody's name. So just learning more about that was really interesting to me. And he encouraged me to continue on with the program. And I was actually blessed to become a graduate assistant. So my fifth year, my graduate year, was actually fully paid for by St. John's.
Wow.
Yes, so if anybody has any questions about that, please please ask more, because it was something I didn't know about until my professor mentioned it to me. And so I continued on with my studies, and I got my certificate in public administration and graduated with my master's degree.
Okay, I'm have my daughter call you because she's going to grad school. So
Yes,
for that,
yes,
I'll make sure I have her call you. Talk about going for free.
yes.
That sounds really good.
Hmm.
So after graduating from law school and then taking the bar exam, what was how was you feeling not knowing what the outcome was going to be from taking that exam? Because I remember I seen the pictures that your mama posted. Oh
Hmm.
my God, so I can see her excitement of finally getting the answer of yes, I passed the bar. But in between that, taking it and then sitting there waiting, what was that like?
So, small disclaimer, anybody on here thinking about going to law school, don't let this discourage you from going to law school. But honestly, oh, it was so hard. It was so hard. That test is a mental game. It's not about how smart you are. Is not about how much you studied, even though you should study a lot. It is truly just mental.
Mm,
Um, it is, I mean, and the test is bad, but the after effect of it is, I think, might be a little worse. And again, please, anyone thinking about going to law school, this is just an honest answer. Is not to discourage law school, because hopefully by the time any of you go to law school, they'll get rid of the bar exam, because that's the goal. Um, because the after is just, you just replay that test in your head. What did I do wrong? 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 And there's no right answer for the bar exam. Part of the exam, there's a right answer, but a lot of the exam, there's no right answer. So you may have left the exam and your friend wrote this and you wrote that. So you have all that running through your head. And then beyond the test, you think about, well, if I don't pass, will I still have a job? If I don't pass, you know, I spent 3 years, studying for nothing, which is not true. But that's the thoughts that run through your head. It was really a test.
Mm.
The test was a test, and then the in between was another test. But like I said, I had my friends, I had my mom, I had my family. Everyone reminded me that the test doesn't define you in any way.
Yeah.
If you pass, great. If you don't, let's do it again. And I also had a really great boss who said the same thing to me. That was really something important to me when I was looking for a position. How can they support me? And one of the ways that they showed me is between me getting my results for the bar exam. But it was tough. It was tough because you have your thoughts about yourself, and then you have, well, how will people view me if I don't pass the exam?
Right.
And but the world does not end if you don't pass the exam. That
But,
is,
but you did.
I did.
Congratulations.
Yes,
That's great.
yes, it was a
So,
great feeling.
so I wanted to know, when you went to take the test, or when you was in law school, did you see a lot of people that look like you?
No, and that's also a hard part because you're showing up to this test, and even on the test in law school, and you're like, if I don't do well, then what? Then what do they think of me? And also, you want to do well for all the other Black women and Black men who will come after you, because you don't want them ever to think, well, we tried and they clearly can't get it. So you have the weight of everything. It's not just you walking into that test hoping to pass. That's part of it, but it's also you, a Black woman, walking into that test where everyone is out. You think everyone's smarter than you. Everyone has more experience than you. Um, so it's tough walking in there. Um, Being one of the few Black women, but that's why all of the Black women I know from law school, we all stuck together. So we all sat next to each other during the test, and you couldn't tell us anything. And confidence is key.
Yeah. Okay, so you said you study, no, you're an associate for civil defense
Hmm.
litigation.
Yes.
What made you, now, did that have something to do with your master's, to trickle you down into, why did you pick that type of law to go into? Like,
Mm-hmm. So part of it was my current boss and the firm. I really enjoyed the people who I interviewed with. I really enjoyed the firm, because when you're coming out of law school, no matter what kind of law you do, no matter how much you love it, if you don't have supportive people around you, it's going to be really tough. And I spent 3 years in law school. I wanted, to have a job where the work is tough. I'm not surprised about that, but I have a supportive group of people behind me always there to help me out. So that was a really big part of it, and a great team dynamic at my job. The other part of it was that I really wanted to do hands on work. I really wanted to work directly with clients, and I wanted to go into court, and I wanted to talk to judges. So that was also why I chose this job. And civil defense litigation is like sets the foundation for so many other areas of law. If you can, it's tough because you deal with a lot of people and you do a lot
Hmm.
of customer service. But once you get it, once you have that foundation, you can take it anywhere.
Okay. So does your degrees line up with the purpose God have ordained for your life?
I didn't know until now. And I say that because of the world we're living in today. Um, it's tough. The pandemic, politics, you know, this is, we've gone through multiple recessions. Who knows what's going to happen in a couple years? And having the knowledge and to be able to talk to people about, well, what's going on? And
Hmm.
maybe I don't use my degrees to become a politician or um, go, on ABC News or anything like that. But I think it's enough to be able to have this knowledge and be able to speak to people who are worried about the political climate that we're in and who are worried about, the job market. And I could just have those conversations with people. So, um, I might not be in politics and I don't need to be in politics, to inform a community. So I get to do it here on interviews like this.
Yep, sure do.
Yes.
So you had so many leadership roles while attending law school.
Hmm.
Okay. Can you just name a couple of them and a few
Sure.
that she was part of? Because it's a lot. It was a lot on her bio, and I'm like, okay, she went to law school and she did all this, and she was a spokesperson for this, and I was like, okay, wow. I know you're doing a lot of reading, but then you have to be, yeah. So if
That's
you
the
could
other
just,
part of, yeah, that's the other part of law school that people. So I was the secretary for the Black Law Student Association, and that's where I really started to get into wanting to do more mentoring, and really reaching out to more mentors because when I tell you they helped me down, they did throughout law school, jobs, everything. And the friends that I made through BALSA, which is we call it BALSA, the Black Law Student Association, are friends I'll have forever. Um, so that probably was the best. If I had to pick one, that was, the most rewarding. And we got to do a lot of more social things in my other leadership roles. So that was nice. Um, I also was a Barbary rep, and I was the Barbary head rep. And Barbary is a company that provides a, so it's a study format, I guess you would call it, for the bar exam.
oh, okay.
When you take the bar exam, unfortunately, you have to take another sort of, well, multiple classes, but it is a program that kind of helps you study for the bar. And Barbary is one of them, and it's I think it might be the biggest one, and it's just because it's the oldest one. And so I was a rep for that, and I was the head rep in my last year law school, and I got to meet so many people, and I got to talk to so many people about the bar, and I loved it. And everybody at Drexel will tell you, oh, was that the girl who was doing Bolsa? Or I'm sorry, Barbary. People will say it all the time. And part of it is trying to get people to, use Barbary for their bar prep, to prep for the bar exam. So I was always like, having my friends like sign up for Barbary, come to these Barbary events. So it made me a lot more social, and a lot in a better public speaker, and I
Mm,
got to meet just so many people through it. And it actually really helped me for the bar exam. It wasn't just for social purposes, but that's probably like my other one that I really really enjoyed.
cool. So what does leadership means to you, and how will you continue being the leader
Mhm.
you are outside of law school?
So leadership to me is really mentoring and not you know, telling people my story to do it exactly how I did it. Because one thing I learned during law school is your story is completely different than someone else's. but to really give people honest and real answers about what I went through and what they might go through, because I find sometimes that people can paint things rosy, and when you actually go through it, it's a little jarring because you feel like you weren't told, fully. And people do that for a reason. You don't want to talk negatively. But so leadership to me is really mentoring people, encouraging people to, keep working, keep going. And it doesn't have to be just higher education. It can be your own business. It can be entrepreneurship. It doesn't always have to just be education. And so it's really just keep telling my story and keep being honest about it.
Cool. So who is your role model? Who do you look to?
My role model, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's a
Yes,
lawyer.
it's a good one.
Lawyer.
um, but I always strive to be like my mom, patient, kind, funny. We have different personalities, maybe. But my mom is so patient with me, and that so I'm always like, Lark, it's not that it's not that serious. So I really do strive to have the same characteristics as my mom, but and also, like I said, in the legal world, I would love to be known like Michelle Obama, as well spoken and well liked.
Yes, nice. Two great women. Two great
Yes,
women.
two great women.
So to have accomplished everything you did in the amount of time that you did it, do you think you had to sacrifice to be in the space you're operating in now?
Yes. um I went to law school. I didn't go late, but I was a little bit older than my friends in law school. So I really felt like I was sacrificing time, and I wasn't, looking back at it. So I took 2 years off after getting my master's degree and then went to law school after. And all my friends at the time had careers, well into their careers. Some were buying houses, some were getting married, so, getting promotions, and I'm still in school. um, so I did, I guess, sacrifice time, but I don't want it to seem like in a negative way, because there's no timeline. There's no perfect timeline for any of this at all. Um, and I also did have to sacrifice a lot of shopping, a lot of going out with my friends, because I was at home studying all day, every day. Um, so I said, if I want to travel, if I want to be able to just go out and not have to worry about things, if I want to be able to love my career, I'm going to have to sacrifice going out, going on trips just for 3 years. And I'm so happy I did, because, now I can plan those trips.
Cool, cool, cool. So what have been some of the, I know the bar is one of the biggest. What have been some other biggest achievements that you have done?
So I was my graduating class's commencement speaker, my last year law before my law school graduation. So that's a really big achievement. I don't. It was. It's a little bit of a different process. I think maybe at Drexel, I'm not sure how it works at other schools, but it was an audition. So you had to write a speech and you had to audition, and then you were videotaped, and that was sent to the whole class, and the class had to vote on who they wanted to be the speaker. And I can tell you, I did not expect people to actually vote. I mean, my friends, they were like, I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for you. But I really didn't expect for such an outpouring of so many people, encouraging me, positivity, the people that walked up to me and said, you had a wonderful speech. And then after the graduation, all the people who, really loved the speech. So that was one of my greatest achievements.
Yeah.
And I think just deciding to go to law school was it was so hard. At first I decided I wanted to go part-time. And then I said, well, if I go part-time, that's I think about 5 years. And I said, well, what if I just, didn't work for 3 years, which is very scary, and just sacrificed and went for 3 years. So I'm actually proud of myself for making that decision, especially during the a pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. It'll pay off. It's gonna pay off.
Yeah,
Your sacrifice, trust me. Well, it already paying off. You
it
see it.
is. It is.
It's
I can't.
already paying off. So now you can go where you want to go, eat what you want to eat, party when you want to party, travel when you want to travel, because you have accomplished what you set out
Mhm.
to accomplish. So that's great. So that is a huge sacrifice. Because I would have been like, yeah, yeah, I'd have been like, oh, I
It's
can't.
a hard decision to make, and people
Yes,
tell me all
yes,
the time, they're like, "Well, how did you?" And I was really in a great position to be with my mom, living with my mom, at the time, having my family around me. So I was in a really great position too. So I don't ever want to and discourage people who aren't in the same position and who do want to go part-time, because either way, however you want to do it, it's a good choice.
yes. So the opposite of that would
Mhm.
have been some obstacles you had to face in your life.
So I thought that I would go to law school. I would get all A's because that's what I did in undergrad. And I would get the perfect job in downtown, and I would move into this like perfect um, condo. And it did not happen that way. I went to law school and I was lost like everybody else. I had to go to a lot of office hours, had to go to my professors a lot because I just did not understand sometimes. Um, and I didn't get the jobs that I thought I would. I felt like I was all over the place. Um, so the biggest obstacle was understanding that life isn't linear, it's ups and downs throughout the whole time, and there's no right path at all. And your path might be different than you envisioned it. And that has been something that I learned in law school and I keep taking with me, because I did well in law school, but I did not get all A's. I do not work downtown. I work in Bluebell. And I'm currently looking for an apartment. So the biggest obstacle has been having to pivot my entire time through law school and knowing that not getting something the first time doesn't mean failure. It just means something different. That's
Yeah,
it.
love it. I love it. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years?
So I think I see myself, and I don't want to say this because, as I just said, it never turns out that way. um, really in a legal, in a specialty that I really enjoy, because right now I'm still deciding what I really like. Do I like the medical malpractice? Do I like the personal injury? Do I like the professional liability? Because we do a little bit of legal malpractice. What do I really want to focus on? So I hope to, in 5 to 7 years, be there and be somewhere where I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to focus my career for this point on.
Okay, okay. So then what's next for you? We said 3 to 5 years, but hey, what's next? The next month, the next 6 months. I don't know. What's next?
I'm just trying to learn how to be a good lawyer right now. I'm a baby lawyer. I'm not, so there's like tiers to being a lawyer, and there's like a new lawyer, which I call a baby lawyer, then a junior associate, and it goes up and up and up. And right now, I think I've been a lawyer for 4 months. I've been working at my job for almost 6 months, but I've been an actual attorney for 4. And the learning curve is so hard, but it's so rewarding because you're actually always smarter than you think you are, which is good to know. Um, so, in the next month or two, I hope to be, a little bit more uh, comfortable in my job, because right now it's still a little bit uncomfortable because I'm still so new. And I hope to just be a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more sure that what I'm doing is maybe the correct way of doing things. There's no actual correct way of doing things. So that's where I hope to be in at least the next year.
So, how can my viewers follow you and support
Mhm.
you throughout your journey?
So I do have social media, so I'm always on there. If you look up Lark, it's usually the first one that comes up because there's not many Larks. Lark Alexandria, there's not many Larks out there. But my social media is Lark Alexandria. Um, I also am on LinkedIn for to learn more about my job and my next career move in about 5 years, not anytime soon. If you want to know a little bit more about my background, my educational background, my LinkedIn is probably the best way. If you want to reach out, LinkedIn, I'm always answering messages on LinkedIn. And it's Lark McAllister on my LinkedIn. If you just look up Lark McAllister, 1C. Um, yeah, so if anyone is interested, please, in law, I am happy to talk to, no matter how young, how old you are, it doesn't matter. Please, I'm here to give you the truth. It's hard, but it's so rewarding when you're out of it. I didn't.
That's a business.
I'm
That's a
sorry.
bus. That's a business.
As a business, well,
No, I mean, it really is because
hmm,
um, you have a lot of people that look like us. It's discouraging because they don't think they can. Well, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to do
yeah.
extra schooling.
Hmm.
And
There's so much out there. There's so many scholarships out there. There's only about, I believe, 5% of Black people are lawyers, and
wow,
it's small. I believe is only 3% of them are Black women.
wow,
And I'm telling you right now, they need more of us, whether they think they do or not. They need more of us.
wow.
I see it every day, all the time, and it doesn't have to be, in the world I live in civil litigation, criminal, and it doesn't even have to be, you know, you can go into politics. You could take law anywhere. You can take it anywhere because it's needed anywhere, and they need people with our voices. So please, please, please reach out. There's always, more room for all of us. And I want to see everybody succeed and be in law. Not. So please reach out.
So one more question
Mhm.
or a comment. Can you leave my viewers with some kind and words of wisdom?
Yes. I've learned to trust your instincts, trust your gut. Don't think about how the world might view anything, because at the end of the day, you have to live with it, not the rest of the world. And everybody's going to have something to say about what you're doing. Please, please, please go with trust yourself, because you know what's best for yourself. Um, don't let other people's opinions of you or other people's experiences ever discourage you from, going for what you want. And, I hope I wish I learned that earlier in law school, but I'm so happy to get to say it now.
So I always like to pull up the comments that I see.
Okay.
Um, so Georgette was watching. Hello, ladies. I see you on it. So it did work.
We
Yeah, it
did.
worked. Yes, trying a new stream on Instagram, and I learned how to do it. So it did work. Yes. And then she was on. She had to get off. I believe this other young lady. Hey, ladies. That's
Hi.
my girlfriend Telfair Graves. She always watching. Um, and Georgia had a message for your mom. Hey, dear, you're awesome. Love you, girl. So, yes, I thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you so much.
I thank you for your story because it's a great story. And anybody I know, Lord, I'm gonna point them your way. Anybody that's going to grad school, I'm gonna point them your way.
Yes, please, please,
I'm gonna point
please.
them your way, especially to get the information
Hmm.
that they would need to go to school free. It's
Yes,
always good that
yes,
there's extra money out there for kids to go to school free.
yes, there
It's
is.
so funny because I think my oldest daughter, she was looking into law. She has a degree in political science.
Here we go. She could
She got,
come
she
be a
got out.
be a
Look, look,
dragon.
look. She got on a debate team. She got on a debate team, right?
Yes.
And that was it.
So
She was like,
that is
no.
so
She was
funny.
like, she was like, no, law's not for me. Law is not for
No,
me.
no. Well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. There's so many types of law. You can go into entertainment law, you could do corporate law, contracts law, where you don't have to debate with anybody. Um, that's just the type of law I do.
Yeah. She said that. I said, you quit the debate team? I thought you want. Yeah, ma, no. Mm-mm.
She don't feel
No,
like
no.
arguing. She
She
don't
didn't
feel
want to put
like
it right. She didn't want to put it in that hard work, but she did get a political science degree, which
yes.
can still lead into
Absolutely.
law
That is
school. But yeah,
there's so much with law. They could
we'll
do
see what
anything.
happens. Yeah. But I thank you for coming on, sharing your story, and I'm gonna have you back about next year, the year,
Next year, we'll see where I am.
see
We'll
where
see if
you
they,
going. See what you're doing. Probably, if you got any
we'll
businesses
see.
going, helping other students with law.
Yes.
I'm just putting that in the atmosphere.
I hope
Since you said
so.
it's needed, you did it. You said so.
I did it. I
Who's,
did it.
who's
I
the
did
best
it.
person? Who's the best person to do it and bring it forth?
If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm joking.
No, no. I mean, start a business where you mentor upcoming lawyers.
Yeah, I do. I do. I didn't realize I like to do that until I started and people started reaching out and I was like, "Oh, people want to talk to me." I have a bunch of people from law school who still, message me and
Yeah,
ask for advice. So,
it's
yeah.
the community.
Because
Can't
it's
do it by can't do it by yourself.
nope,
So.
cannot. You cannot.
Good. Well, that's great. Well, I thank you guys for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
It's cold in the DMV. I know it's some bad weather up north. I don't know if
Okay.
did y'all get snow in Philly?
We got it Monday, but not
Oh,
too much of it. No, I don't think we will be. I'm not sure. Maybe I should look at that.
okay, okay. I think Jersey's supposed to get more snow. Not sure, but anywho, make sure you stay warm. Stay buckled up. If you have to wear a mask, wear your mask. We
Please wear
still
your mask.
Yeah, we still in the pandemic. We are still
Yeah.
in a pandemic. So make sure you wear your mask if you're going in large gatherings. Or if
Mhm.
you have an elder in
Yes,
your home,
please,
still wear
please.
your mask. But in saying that, Lark, stay on. And we're going to end this. Have a good evening,
Thank
y'all.
you.